Hey guys, Sean here. I wanted to bring up a couple of things that you might potentially see down the road when it comes to utilizing technology to make up for dwindling resources as the population of the Earth continues to expand further and further and further. Two things that stand out to me would be fresh, clean water and also energy. Now, when it comes to energy, I think it's only a matter of time before free energy becomes the norm. But until then, hypothetically, fossil fuels start to run low, and we need to find an affordable way to provide electricity and energy without fossil fuels. And I totally see geothermal as a big industry in the future. Now, right now, geothermal energy, now I could be wrong about this, but I think it powers about 1% of the population's energy comes from geothermal. Geothermal is the heat. As you dig down into the ground, eventually it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and it can get to the point where it would boil water. And what geothermal energy does, some countries actually use a lot of this technology. You dig down really far, you have water, it boils, it creates steam, and then in turn, the steam can be used to create the electricity. That's just something that happens now. But it's so expensive and hard to maintain. It's just not very practical, big picture wise, large scale to use that. However, I'm thinking in the future there's going to be a way to dig down not even close to as far as you have to go, because you have to go down really deep to get water to boil. But if we can utilize a liquid that boils at a much higher temperature, I'm sorry, boils at a much lower temperature so that you don't have to get it so hot, and it will boil something that's not water, but a liquid that will boil at, let's say, 100 degrees instead of 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, then you would only have to dig down a percentage, a fraction of how far. And that, big scale wise, could be a feasible way to have energy to use if we're running low on fossil fuels. Now, the other one is fresh water, and just imagine that you have ocean water, which we have an abundance of, a great abundance of ocean water. It floods into this giant room, cement or metal that captures all this water. It's like a stadium-sized room, maybe hundreds of feet wide, hundreds of feet tall. So this huge box, right? The ocean water comes in, the box closes, and then we utilize technology, nanotechnology, which is in its early phases now, and it's going to develop more and more as we go forward into what is perceived as the future. So nanotechnology, imagine these tiny microscopic robots that are programmed to identify salt particles. You have this big box of ocean water. You'll have these countless amounts of nanoparticles, nanorobots that go in and find the salt. Think of like your immune system in your body with the white blood cells, that kind of concept, attacking the virus, etc. So the nanoparticles attach themselves to the salt. That's their job. They find the salt and they basically give it a big old hug. Then once all the salt particles are being hugged by these nano particles, then boom, you turn on this big magnet, all the nanoparticles get sucked up to the magnet and the salt. And you have a second big box, and all the water rushes into the second big box, it closes, now you have fresh water. As much as anyone needs without having to hunt for the limited fresh water that will be available in the future. So just a couple things to think about, guys.